All right, so hi everyone, welcome to our student leadership group meeting. Today we're going to be focusing on the topic of leadership. And we actually have our a guest speaker today. We have Priyanka. Um, Priyanka, how do you pronounce your last name? Priyanka Parikh?
Yes,
Okay.
Parikh. Mhm.
So Priyanka is going to be taking us through some information about leadership. So Priyanka, whenever you're ready. Oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Liliana. So we'll start off by the definition of leadership. Leadership is a process of social influence which maximizes the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. In leadership, just motivating people isn't enough. Leaders need to be empathetic and they need to connect with other people to be successful. And then as you can see on the slide, a leader can see how things can be improved and who rallies people to move towards that better vision. So it's that guiding force is what a leader is. Leaders can work towards making their vision a reality while putting people first. Moving on to the next slide, we will do a comparison of a leader versus a manager. And as you can see, there's a graph where we have different qualities of someone that is a leader and then someone that is a manager. A manager does manage and take responsibilities of a situation, while on the other hand, a leader takes charge, is influential and sets an example. Managers have subordinates who follow their rules. And I can go over some quick qualities in a leader. So leaders see a vision and they're very strategic. They create value, they influence, they inspire, they have people that follow them. They are very people centric, so they focus on people. They have a charismatic style. They're risk and change seekers. They set direction, of course, positive direction. And they ask questions and have expectations. While on the other hand, managers have policies, they have procedures, they're powerful, they're controlling, they manage, of course, they're work focused, they are stable, they plan, they're very detailed, and they give directions. So a main thing in this graph would be for me is as a manager, you give directions. And then as a leader, you are someone who leads people. So you set an example. And a common thing among both a leader and a manager would be they both work towards accomplishing a common goal. They have a shared vision. They motivate others, of course, and they use resources to make more leaders and more managers. So leaders have people who follow their directions while managers have people who work for them. And then on the next slide, we will go over a brief review of the different leadership styles. This is just something very brief. So commanding leaders do what I tell you. So that's something that a commanding leader would say. Someone who's a visionary leader would tell its employees or the people on their team, they would say, come work with me, come with me, come join me. It's like a common vision that they share. An affiliative leadership style person would always have people come first. So they would put people first. In a democratic leadership style, the leader would ask others on their team, what do they think of an idea, of a common goal that they have. They would take opinions and they would take any questions or anything of that sort to make sure that they make sure that everyone gets heard. A pace setting leadership style is someone who's do as I do now. So it's more demanding, I would say. And then a coaching leadership style is someone who coaches the people on their team. So they tell you, they guide you, they show you how to do things. So that's the coaching style. On the next slide, we're going to go into more detail regarding the different leadership styles that I just stated on the previous slide. So in the commanding leadership, They show confidence, take charge, and focus on the results. In the visionary leadership style, they're more strategic, builds future for generations, and sets examples. In the affiliative leadership style, it's more conflict resolution, aims to create harmony, make sure everyone is satisfied, everyone's happy, everyone gets along, improve communication. In a democratic leadership style, creative solutions and ideas are made. So everyone's included, everyone works as a team, improves awareness, and there is development to assist employees. In a pace-setting leadership style, it's very high energy. Issues are addressed quickly, so it's very fast-paced. That's why it's called pace-setting. And then team empowerment. And then in the coaching leadership style, it creates more of a positive workplace, allows individuals to try different things, and then develops people for the future, just as a coach would. Moving on to the next slide, I have a question for you all. So, what other qualities make up a good leader? Would anyone want to share what they think are some qualities that make up a good leader?
Feel free to unmute yourselves if you guys want.
So we just want to know how you all view leadership. And I know everyone comes from different backgrounds, so it's nice to see a different perspective of how you view leadership.
Organized person and commitment. Yeah,
nice.
Good human skill.
Yeah, I think a good leader is someone who is able to take risk. Yeah.
That's very important, right? Someone who takes risks. Those are really great examples. Anyone else wants to share out?
And fair.
Mm-hmm. Someone.
Marova, I think, yes, Marova, I think that one of the best qualities of a good leader is an ability to make a fast decision in difficult situation, and this is also about responsibility, about the solve problem.
Yes, that's a great example. So everyone who shared out stated some really great examples. So honesty, integrity, confidence, empathy, and accountability. And I feel like everyone said something in between those lines. So great job. Those are all important qualities in a leader. And then I have one more question for everyone. So why is leadership important? So why do you think leadership is important?
This is a path to organize a lot of people. Always, the most of people need a organization for effective doing. I think so.
That's great. Does anyone else want to share out?
Shows a direction for members as a group or organization.
Yes, shows direction. That's a great example.
Many people suffer from a lack of motivation, and a leader has to give them motivation.
Yes, exactly. That's great that you said that. So as you all stated, helps accomplish goals, right? Leaders motivate and they inspire. They show direction. Does anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah, leadership helps the people to work together and collaboration, and coaches them, not only individual, how to work in a group.
Yes, that's a perfect example. So work as a team, right? Teamwork. Yes.
Yes, and also focus the group attention on one task, and for the best and effective realization of something, of some task.
Yes, that's a great example as well. So helps accomplish goals, leaders motivate and they inspire. They help better understand others and see things from different perspectives, right? So they view things from different perspectives and they work as a team. So those were all great examples.
Yes, and I think when you work in a group, it's more productivity. Yeah,
I agree. Yes, more productivity. We all get to share ideas, right? So someone might know more than I do, and then you might know something that someone else doesn't. So we all get to share our knowledge and share all this information when we work as a team. Okay. So for the next portion, I think Ms. Liliana is going to take over.
All right, thank you, Priyanka, and thank you guys for contributing. You know, one of the reasons we wanted to discuss leadership with you is because you guys are going to be in this leadership group and you guys are going to be learning from each other, and hopefully in your career or in your lives, you guys are leaders. You know, leadership is a very important concept everywhere we go. So I'm really happy that you guys were able to kind of join us today. So for my part, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about power. So power is basically in leadership is the ability to influence, and power actually plays a huge role in our day-to-day lives, right? Whether it's in work, in school, or at home. So I think it's important for you guys as you guys become leaders or as you start working to understand power a little bit more. So here are 5 different types of power, and nowadays, you know, there's more types. You know, the researchers will basically break down the types of powers into maybe 10 or 11 different types of powers. But these are the 5 main ones that I wanted to kind of give you guys an overview of. So the first one is legitimate power. So this is power that one receives as part of their positions. For example, you have the directors or managers, so they have the power to make the decisions because of their roles. Then there's reward power. So this is power one receives by offering a benefit to someone, such as gifts, rewards, or promotion. For example, you will get a promotion if you do XYZ for me, right? So in return for you doing this, I'll give you a promotion or I'll give you this. So that's reward power. Coercive power is attained through threat or force. So for example, the threat of being terminated. If you don't do this, then you will be terminated, right? It tends to be very toxic. It does create an environment that a lot of us don't want to work in. So this is a type of power that, you know, it's not preferred. Then we have expert power. So expert power comes as a result of expertise, skills, and knowledge. So you're seen as credible and trustworthy. And then there's referent power. So basically this power is through identification. What I mean by that is like having qualities or traits that a person desires or admires. For example, celebrities. What happens with celebrities, they often promote different brands because they have followers that, you know, admire them, that want to be like them. So, you know, they're able to convince their fans to try out these different brands. So when it comes to power, you know, I just wanted to show that, you know, in your lives and your roles, you know, you can have a role in leadership, and you can also have different types of power, especially if you're an expert in your field. You know, as an expert in your field, whatever field you decide to take, you can become an expert, gain the skills and knowledge to seem credible and trustworthy to other people and take on these leadership roles. So you don't have to be like a legitimate leader in order to be a leader. You don't have to have a leadership role to be a leader. You can be a leader in this in this group, you know, as a student at home. You can be a leader anywhere, and that's really important to know. Now, another thing that I want to kind of quickly mention that you guys already mentioned, indirectly mentioned, but is the importance of social and emotional intelligence in being a leader. So the social intelligence, you know, the ability to interact with others, and emotional intelligence intelligence, ability to recognize your own and others' feelings. That's very, very important, especially these days when you're working with other people. You're going to start realizing that we all come from different cultures. The way we see things, is different. The way we handle situations is different, right? Some of us, if you've heard from my presentations or from the student newsletter, we're having more resources on mental health, right? Where students are dealing with stress, anxiety, so many things going on in the world. So it's very important to kind of recognize what is going on with everyone and be able to work with, different diverse groups. Especially as a leader. And I think being in this group, you guys are going to learn a little bit about this because everyone in this group it comes from a different country. We all are in different stages of our lives. Some of us are students, some of us are workers, some of us are parents, some of us are not. So it's a very great opportunity for you guys to learn this skill. Now, when it comes to building your leadership skills, the first thing that you should do is a self-assessment. So really evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. And then after that, then you would discover what your leadership style is. Are you more of a democratic leader? Are you more of a pace setter, right? Pacemaker? But you will discover that as obviously as you gain more experience and as you assess yourself. But the first step always in anything that you do is your self-assessment. And that's very, very important because that's going to help you grow as future leaders or as future employees. In order to improve or build your leadership skills, you should get involved in leadership opportunities like this one. This is a great opportunity for you guys to build those leadership skills. Never stop learning. I have to tell you this, as an employee who's been working for at least like 9 years, learning never stops and never stop learning. And you guys are here studying English or going for your high school diploma or in the career technical education. And you guys are, continuing your education, continue to do that. Always learn, whether it's through an educational program, at work, at home, never stop learning, always be open to learning more. And then learn from others. So be open to having mentors, coaches, and people that can help you continue growing. Now, in terms of assessment, so there are some assessments that different companies like to do in order to kind of evaluate the employee, also evaluate leadership skills. Here's just a few examples. So the 360 feedback, if you're working, this might be something that your employer does where they'll have you evaluate yourself. Have a supervisor evaluate you and possibly like a coworker so you can see the perspective of other people. The DISC evaluation measures dominance, so your level of dominance, your level of influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. And then we have the Myers-Briggs, which is the more popular one that many of you guys may have heard, that measures your extroversion versus introversion, your thinking versus feeling, judging, perceiving, sensing, intuition. And then we have the Gallup's Strengths Finder, which basically kind of shows you 5 traits or strengths that you have. So these are different assessments that you can take if you wanted to. Unfortunately, they're not free, but for the Myers-Briggs, there is like a fun version of the assessment called 16 personalities that you guys can take, and I'll send you the link later. It's pretty fun because it tells you a little bit about what type of person you may be, what kind of jobs may be a good fit for you, how you are in different relationships. It's a little fun assessment if you guys want to take it. Now, just to end this, I'm going to end this with a quote. So the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He's the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. All right. That's a really great quote because it kind of shows us that leadership is not about oneself. It's really about everyone. All right, so thank you for joining our presentation, and thank you, Priyanka, for giving us this quick overview of leadership.